Hello everyone, welcome to Manika IAS. Welcome to the daily news analysis session of the Manika IAS. So first of all, I would like to apologize to all because my health was not keeping fine, so we missed 2 to 3 days of current affairs. But rest assured, I will be covering all the important news in the past few days in our upcoming videos. Topic by topic we'll be taking. Second important thing that I would like to tell you is you must be seeing that in the recent times there are more economic related articles which are coming in the newspaper, which is with respect to analysis of our economic shape before 2010, after 2010. So as of now, I am not taking them independently, all the articles. I will club all those articles together following the newspaper of the past few days and the coming days, which is expected to come because it is election year, because it is an election year. So we are expecting more articles around that to come, and we'll be clubbing them along with the year view of economy which was presented by the government. So then we'll discuss broadly about the Indian economy shape. And since we have been following the newspaper in the past few days as well, the months as well, so we by and large know what is the fiscal deficit. In our budget also we discuss about the fiscal budget, deficit, growth, unemployment rate and everything. So I'll be clubbing all of them together for the ease of understanding, and then we'll discuss in a separate video altogether. Okay, so now let's move to the analysis of today's newspaper. So as I already mentioned, there are very less relevant to the UPSC examination or other state PSC examination news is coming in the paper. By and large, the editorials are more politically oriented, be it of India or of any other country. So we'll be focusing on these three editorials from today newspaper. The very first is Alliance for Global Good, Gender Equity and Equality. Sorry. This is with respect to gender equality. So it will fall within the ambit of GS paper 2, social issues. This is the relevance for mains. However, this question is also important for your prelims examination because this alliance was recently announced in the World Economic Forum, and it is initiated by India. So it is an extremely relevant topic for both mains and for prelims. Coming to Swachhata green leaf rating, this is also a new initiative. So this is also relevant for your Indian society. Paper 1, and also with respect to your prelims. Now, Prime Minister Modi is on the visit to UAE. Here, this is just an introduction. We'll be following the outcome, which will matter more. But what is the relevance here? We'll be discussing the expected talks and the reason behind the visit. But we'll focus more on the outcome, which will be out in few days. Okay. So now let's move to the very first topic, which is your Alliance for Global Good, Gender Equity and Equality. As discussed, it was launched by India during the World Economic Forum, okay, meeting in Davos this year. Then, if you talk about alliance, it is a multi-stakeholder initiative. That means what does include expert, think tanks, industry, and country leadership. So these are the stakeholders which are involved in this alliance. If you talk about the significance of this initiative that India has taken, where does it is going to take India in a global place? So for accelerating socio-economic cause, as it will have a sustained global impact. So if you know, in the sorry, in the recent time, the Indian government is taking multiple steps with respect to empowerment of women, and also with respect to initiation of global alliance, starting from solar alliance to the yoga wala, and many more steps were taken by India at the global level. So this is one of those initiative which will give India a global name. Then it is anchored by Center for Women Leadership, guided by Minister of Women and Child Development, Government of India, and it is also supported by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So these three are part to this initiative. Now, what is the mandate? Which is the most important question? That is collective action to augment women empowerment. Basically, the purpose is the empowerment of women, and that is why they have initiated an alliance at the global level. It will give also to meet the sustainable development goal. Now, if you talk about the network partner is your World Economic Forum. And what is the goal? To share and develop scalable, practical solutions for advancing women led development in the areas of ed technology, medical capacity building, delivery of health intervention of women. If you know, in India and in many other countries, maternal mortality rate are high. Then there are also care pre and postnatal care issues which are there. The healthcare system is not fully equipped to handle the number of cases which are rising. And also, if you see in the recent past, we also read in the last month, also we discussed about the cervical cancer, which is the largest, second largest cause of cancer among the women. So that is why to empowering the health care capacity, then learning and skill development, agrotech women enterprise development, and unlocking capital to enable stronger gender outcomes. It will also bring together stakeholders, this one that we discussed in the previous slide. And India's leadership in this area is proven, gaining the label of pharmacy of the world. So this is something that you can be used as an significant under significance you can use, or you can also use in questions related to this as a conclusion. Now let's see what are the steps that India has taken so far to improve gender equity in India. So uh, after during the G20 summit, which happened last year in India, New Delhi Leaders Declaration was announced. In this also, the government committed itself to gender equality and equity. The focus areas were socio-economic empowerment, bridging digital divide, driving climate action, ensuring food security, nutrition, health, and well-being. And here, if you remember, we discussed about the example of Uttar Pradesh, where they used and they tapped women entrepreneurs or SHGs for addressing the malnutrition among children, thus doing dual benefit, giving empowering the women as well as malnutrition. So you need these kind of new initiative that can be replicated at a scalable level, as we discussed previously, in order to provide women a healthy and an empowered life. Okay, so another step which was taken was women reservation bill. That means it assured a 33% seat for women legislatures in state and center after 2026 elections, when the new delimitation will happen. As we also discussed about delimitation, if you remember, in the previous last few days. Now, allocation of nearly 27 billion under gender budget in 2023-2024 to advancing women-led development, increasing in India female labor force participation rate from 23 to 3%, 23.3% to 37% in 2020 to 23. So increase in labor force participation. Okay. Then female enrollment is higher in education. It has gone up from 28% in last 10 years. So these are very good points for you if you want to write any answer with respect to women empowerment. You get any question on women empowerment, these are the steps which are taken. So this is a very good sort of steps, and the reach so far के ऊपर आप लिख सकते हो. Also you can also get essays on these topics. So you can keep these points in your related notes. Then, if you see this, other in terms of enrollment in STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the share of women is 43%, which is one of the highest enrollment rate in the world. Now, this is very interesting point. Okay, in rural India, there is a participation of 9 crore women in 83 like self-help groups. This is again economic empowerment of women. ठीक है? And along with this alliance, there was another initiative which was forwarded again by India in the same World Economic Forum, that was We Led Lounge, which was set up by Ministry of Women and Child Development and Confederation of Indian Industry at Davos, and it saw the global interest and curiosity. It will serve as a platform to have meaningful deliberations around how the world can contribute, join, and drive inclusive development. So you can get this in your prelims. Less likely to be asked in mains, but in prelims you can get this. So you must know that it is initiated by India itself. Okay, and that to Ministry of Women and Child Development. And where in the World Economic Forum, only around these 2 points you can get a preliminary question. Okay, so you remember these 2 points. Okay, now let's move to the next topic, which is your Swachhata Green Leaf Rating. What is it all about? So it was launched by Union Tourism Minister in last year, November 2023, in collaboration with Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Now again, this is important point for your prelims. This topic is only important for your prelims. And the aim is to ensure hygiene in hospitality sector. Not hospital, hospitality sector के अंदर hygiene के लिए, so that you can boost tourism in India. That is why this rating was announced. The initiative will involve workshop by state teams on Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin and Tourism Department to educate the stakeholders. Stakeholders include your hotels, resort, the staff managing who's responsible for cleanliness, and the people in general. Then your focus area will be improved sanitation facilities, fecal sludge management, waste segregation, reduction of single-use plastic. These are four most important points. They will focus on improving sanitation facilities, fecal sludge management, water segregation, reduction in single-use plastics. Okay. The pilot project in Jammu and Kashmir was started. However, so far, no state and union territory has given their heads up for this. So only the pilot run has been occurred so far. So purpose is to encourage compliance with safe sanitation practices in hotel resorts and homestays and other lodging services. So and also to prevent water pollution and maintain a clean environment. So if you all remember, when there was this controversy happened around India Maldives, when the Prime Minister visited the Lakshadweep, and the some Maldivian ministers commented that India will never be able to give the quality of cleanliness and hygiene in their hotel and resort, so they can never become as much to attract tourism as Maldives is attracting. So that led to a rift between the two nations. So this particular rating is actually addressing that gap, and the if the tourism hygiene will improve, tourism will improve, which in turn will improve GDP. So it is also a step in right direction to reach the target of 5 trillion GDP. Okay. Now a three-tier committee is also proposed for implementation: verification subcommittee, district committee, and state level committee. Now these are very minute details which you might skip to remember, but the what we have discussed so far was very important with respect to your prelims. Okay. Now there are also effort to incentivize the scheme under consideration by government to encourage participation. Rural areas are targeted with a focus on hospitality units like homestays, bed and breakfast facilities, small restaurants, and tea shop. So it is not only addressing urban but also the rural areas. So tapping the tourism potential of rural areas as well, which is also a very good step. Now let's move to the next topic, which is Prime Minister visit to UAE. So Prime Minister is on the visit to UAE, and the purpose behind is to inaugurate this Babs Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. And now this is again one statement which is very interesting, which can be used in your answer writing. The UAE ambassador to India said that visit aligned with the values of tolerance and acceptance that guide the bilateral ties between the two nations. What does it say? It says that the bilateral ties between India and UAE are guided by two values, which are tolerance and acceptance. Okay, so this is an important line to add in your answer writing, specifically for mains. Okay, because prelims mein to it hold no value. In bilateral meeting, we can be expecting deepening, expanding, and strengthening the strategic partnership between the two countries, as exchanges view on regional and international issues on mutual interest. Okay, so these are the area that can be focused. Here, the government, the Prime Minister will also participate in World Government Summit 2024. So, in the coming days, we'll be discussing about this summit as well, its outcome. If even if you read newspaper, you know what to focus at: outcome and Prime Minister statement. Then, what is the significance of UAE for India? Now, this is important for your mains answer writing. International relation, GS paper 2, इंडिया यूए रिलेशन, डायस्पोरा, लार्जेस्ट ग्रुप ऑफ डायस्पोरा जो वहाँ पे बनाता है वो इंडिया से है, which is 3.5 billion. So it aid to the cultural diversity of UAE. If you talk about the trade, bilateral trade is about 85 billion US dollar in 2020 to 2023. UAE is among the one highest to invest in India. So FDI from UAE to India is high. The recent approval of bilateral investment treaty. So BIT, bilateral investment treaty, has also been approved between India and UAE. It reflects the effort to transform the relationship into a strategic partnership. So if you have done your IR, you know there what is the difference between normal relationship to strategic partners. Focusing on defense, energy, space, and IT sector. Okay. Elevation of bilateral relation to a comprehensive strategic partnership. And now this is something which is envisaged in future. That this strategic partnership को भी जो इन्होंने अभी normal से they have taken it to strategic partnership, will take it to comprehensive economic partnership agreement. So this can be your conclusion for your answer. And a local currency settlement system to promote the use of Indian rupee and AED for cross-border transaction. Both the countries share interest in supporting peace and stability for regional, international. So basically, if you know, India has also installed its UPI system in Sri Lanka and one another country in the Asia. So that is why, and India is also on the route to de-dollarization of the economy. That means or internationalization of the rupee. So on this path, we have had agreements with many countries in the recent time where you can directly trade with respect to in rupee currency. Earlier, we used to trade in dollar. So here also the local currency settlement system is to be promoted. This is the future perspective between India UA relationship. So this is where India is moving ahead with respect to its relationship with UA. And this was it for today. And we'll be discussing in detail from tomorrow onwards the daily current affairs. And if you have any questions with respect to what we have discussed today, please ask your questions in the comment section below. Thank you. Have a nice day.